Hello and welcome to Rough Cut. Today I've got reviews of The Sweeney, Lawless, and shortly I'll have a review of Dread 3D Up as well, although if I can catch it in 2D I will. So let's start with the film The Sweeney. So on the way to see this film, I actually saw it advertised on the side of a bus, and the Sun newspaper, God bless it sir, gave it 5 stars out of 5 and called it the best British action film in years, I think it was, and I thought, oh, that's very interesting. So the premise of the film, if you're not sure what it is, it's two tough coppers who use the word slag with no sense of irony whatsoever. But they're really tough, really, really tough. They're hard as nails, and the suits just don't understand them. So the film kicks off with a scene that's reminiscent of an actually good British crime caper called Face, which came out probably about 15 odd years ago now. It's suddenly we're in an armed raid, and this warehouse depot thing is being knocked off rather, whatever it is, and the Sweeney team interrupt them, who run straight into a hostage situation armed with pistols and puzzlingly baseball bats, and somehow, despite clearly it was the worst possible plan you can do in a hostage sort of situation. They've got loads of hostages all in one place. The criminals are very well organised, but the Sweeney run in, we've got all this music, and they just arrest everyone one by one. They're tremendously undermanned, completely unprepared for the situation, and you just think, all right, well, at the end, everyone's patting themselves on the back going, yeah, we did good there, oh yeah, and you think, what on earth did I just witness? That doesn't make any sense. So the Sweeney is a flying squad team, so they're a crack team. So after their flush of success at the beginning with the puzzling scene that I mentioned, they go on a drinking bender. We then discover that Ray Winstone's character, who's the boss, he's the gov, is sleeping with this married team member who's beautiful, and they go and have sex in the toilets. And not only do we have to see sort of Ray Winstone throughout the film, we have to see his belly, literally him in his pants. We've got to see him running around wearing young people's clothes. We then have to see him in this absurd sex scene. So we've got the sort of quasi-action hero thing that, you'd expect him being 30, being played by Jeremy Piven or something. But we've got to put up with these absurd scenes, which clearly it just makes no sense whatsoever. It's just, and sort of the counteract to the ridiculousness of it, she makes him eat a salad, and we're hilarious, he has a salad. So the plot of the film is very much, there's a baddie, is he the baddie? Well, Ray Winstone thinks he's the baddie, so maybe we should read something into that. At the same time, we've got the the internal affairs guy investigating him, who's very cross the whole time at Ray Winstone because he doesn't agree with his methods, obviously. And of course, that turns out for dramatic effect. It's the internal affairs investigations guy that Ray Winstone's sleeping with his wife, so we think, oh crikey, what a cheeky chappy or something, whereas at the same time, actually, this is all quite horrible. Unfortunately, with these fully blown action films, they are just much better in the hands of the Americans. I mean, we can refute that as much as we want, but it's absolutely true. They just understand them better. A lot of it's to do with budget, but this one doesn't have a problem with its budget. It looks all right. It's just, it's just not very well put together, and it's not very interesting, and it's just all so tacky. We're supposed to believe that the Sweeney are this crack team, and everyone says that these are the guys, they're so tough and hard, and they'll do the jobs no one else will do, and they'll go to lengths no one else will go to. But the trouble is, at the beginning I thought, crikey, how unprofessional they are, and it goes downhill incredibly quickly. So there's this bank robbery that they're expecting that they do nothing about. At no point do they call in backup or help from anyone else. It's just these blokes running around with their pistols and baseball bats. So we have this incredibly long shootout, and the bad guys have got machine guns, right? The bad guys are clearly better trained and have machine guns. The Sweeney team run around with their pistols going boo, 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 through tourists and everything like this, loads of people. At the same time, we've got the gov, the Ray Winstone's boss, shouting over the phone, pull back, don't make it any worse for yourselves, meaning, internal affairs and what they're going to do. They're going to shut the Sweeney down. So that's his concern when, there's civilians all over the place, potentially getting shot. There's running gun battles in central London. No one else comes to help. They're clearly not up to the job
no one hits anything when they, it's one of those sort of cowboys and Indians going boo, 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 and no one seems to get shot. It's just a bit of a joke. So they're running amok in Trafalgar Square. And you just think, what on earth is going on? These are supposed to be, and you see, when you see in American films, like a Bourne-Phil or something, when they go into a building, they do things like clear the corners. In this film, consistently, the Sweeney don't bother with any of that. They're not aiming their gun in the right direction. It's almost like we're supposed to believe they're so hard and so tough that they don't need to bother with all that nerdy-wordy stuff, of procedure and just generally doing a professional job. And, I said no one gets shot, but actually in various scenes, various members of the team do get shot to varying degrees, and there's one particular tragic moment that we all see coming a mile off due to the clunky dialogue before the scene that was definitely coming. And there's this moment of sort of crisis where Ray Winston it wasn't. And he genuinely, the trouble is the filmmakers and Ray Winston's character clearly don't believe something was his fault. So what he's doing is, he's not taking any blame for getting people shot. So he's running around like an idiot into these ridiculous situations, putting lives at risk. And that's the whole point of this. But he doesn't believe he's done anything wrong. What could I do? I was stuck in the car. Fine. The filmmakers clearly don't believe he's done anything wrong. They clearly, it wasn't his fault. He's absolved of all guilt for this ridiculous situation he's put people in. And you think, what on earth is happening? it's just so wrong-headedly bad, and it's absolutely bonkers. So, and just generally, the Sweeney seem to spend their entire time coming up with excuses why they can drive past Canary Wharf and have lots of action shots of Canary Wharf. Inexplicably, their office is just incredibly lavish. The kind you'd expect for an investment bank. But they're in, you can see the Gherkin from there. So their office, for some reason, is in the city. They don't ever seem to do any actual police work. The way the operation seems to run is Ray Winston's character and Ben Drew, his sort of second in command. They seem to do all the sort of, not even proper police work. It's more sort of, they have a fiddle on the computer, then they go and break someone's arm, and then, that's how they do it. And everyone else just sort of sits around and then, runs around with them when there's a bit of an action scene. So at no point does it really make any sense. They're driving round and round Canary Wharf like it was a bloody, roundabout. And it's just, the final scene is actually a car chase in a static caravan park. That's the final scene. That's the climactic scene. So all in all, it's, at a couple of points in this, I really did think about walking out because it was just so wrong-headedly bad. It's just laughably awful. It's like they've made a comedy but not told the actors they're in a comedy. So it's. I actually felt a bit embarrassed for them at times. But Ben Drew, who played the second in command, Regan, I think he was called, he was actually pretty good. I quite liked him. I don't know anything about his music, but he was all right. But everyone else, shocking. This film is a joke. It's a big joke. Thanks very much.